host of the Gridiron.
The offensive grades, according to PFF, after the Ravens ran roughshod over the New York Football Giants there. So let's see what the let's see how PFF, what they had here for the Giants here. Let me pop the screen back up here. Let's share this once again. All right, so let's go here. Whoop. Here we go. Go to the game reports. Here we go. Let's go to the offense. Here we go. All right, now Malik Nabers leading the way. 71.8. Very, very good. Eluemunor, very good to have him back there. Very, very, very good. It's, you don't realize how much you miss somebody until they're not there, right? Well, Jermaine Eluemunor, he graded out of 70.2. Evan Neal, right? I mean, right? 64.9. 59 with his pass block grade. His run block at 77. So those were our two tackles. Those were there were two of the three highest, right? And somehow even John Michael Schmitz was in there, right? All 68 snaps. He graded 62.6. Once again, his pass blocking is always a little, same thing here with Evan Neal. Usually his run blocking is better than his pass blocking. But it was nice to see. I mean, this is kind of rare for the Giants, right? Obviously, three of our first four guys. Actually, we want to put Kubas in. Well, Kubas always in it for one snap. But three of our top four guys are offensive linemen. Now, it doesn't make much sense, right? Because we only had a couple hundred yards. We scored 2 touchdowns. It wasn't like we were walking up and down the field, right? That's what the Ravens were doing, but it is what it is. Daniel Bellinger had himself a very nice game. I think he had 3 or 4 receptions. So he's doing a decent job in the absence of Theo Johnson. Daniel Bellinger graded out of 62.4. Then you had Kubas in there, 1 snap. Ezeudu in there for 2 snaps. That was probably maybe like the jumbo package. Maybe those guys were in there. Eric Ray was in there for 3 snaps. 59.5. Devin Singletary was in there for 23 snaps. 59.4. Wan'Dale Robinson was in there for 52 snaps. And graded out 55.5. So now you got a bunch of lower end grades. Once you're into the 50s and the 40s and the 30s and all, that's not super spectacular. Seems like the Mendoza line is like right at 60, right? Anything above 60 is okay. Anything below 60, once you get into the 50s and the 40s, that's not super spectacular. But so Wan'Dale Robinson was a 55.5. Ihmir Smith-Marsette was 55.4. Tommy Chicken Cutler Parmesan was in there for 32 snaps. 55.4. Darius Slayton, 46 snaps, 55.1. Tim Boyle obviously took over for the other, right? Because you had a grand total of 68 snaps because Michael Schmitz was in there for 68 snaps. So Tommy DeVito was in there for 32. Tim Boyle was in there for 36. So 36 and 32 was 68. So basically, they almost played the same amount of snaps, right? I think Boyle came in for the final snap of the first half, and then he played the whole rest of the second half. So Boyle came in there 53.9. I mean, all things considering, you got to give the guy. I got to give him some credit. He never threw passes, live bullets, right? Or not live, but he never threw passes in practice to the starters. Never threw a pass to like Wan'Dale, Slayton, maybe Hyatt, but never threw a pass in practice to Nabers. Just going on the field, his first, snaps for the Giants and all of that. And he was 12 out of 24, 100 and something yards and a touchdown. He had an interception as well, too. So, all in all, it could have been worse. Certainly could have been worse. For our fourth string quarterback, certainly could have been worse. So you got to give I got to give Boyle some credit there. Tyrone Tracy was in there for 46 snaps, 53.4. Aaron Stinnie, left guard. So our guards were a little on the weak side here. Stinnie with left guard, 50.5. Greg Van Roten was in there for 68 snaps, 48.3. See, the one thing also here you'll notice here is that you see the 50 here and the 18. Say, right, 50 and 18. Yeah, I mean, this is something you don't know. Right? Pass blocking snaps. Oh, the same thing here. 50. Run blocking, 18. I mean, what 18? We threw the ball almost 3 times as much as we ran the ball. I mean, we ran the ball 18 times. I mean, but that just goes to show you, right? Obviously we couldn't establish a run, but also we couldn't even, establish a lead. But you start falling behind. What do you got to do? You got to start throwing the ball. So, I mean, this is ridiculous. You just can't. Threw the ball 50 times. Ran it 18. I mean, that's just ridiculous. Absolutely freaking ridiculous. This just smells loss right here. When you have to throw the ball 50 times and you only ran it 18. All right, so we got Van Roten, 48.3. Jalin Hyatt, 20 snaps, 46.9. And we got some tight ends here, right? Chris Manhertz was in there for 27 snaps, 46.2. And Greg Dulcich was in there for 7 snaps, 43.5. I think Dulcich also had I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, on special teams. I think he had a penalty on special teams, which is, it was just an absolute total mess. Absolute total. I mean, it was everything. I mean, the offense ran the ball 18 times, had to throw it 50. Couldn't gain a first down, a fourth down, like whatever it was, 18 inches. Couldn't. I mean, just the defense. I mean, of course, the secondary was just total. I mean, this one. Phillips, Flott, Banks, and Newman. I mean, it's like So we had almost all backups in there, and we got torched for 5 touchdown passes. I mean. The special teams was just dreadful, just dreadful. It was almost like opening kickoff, right? I felt was it 59 yards. The guy ran the ball back. It was just like, at least he didn't run it back for a touchdown, but it was just. And I think Gano was on the side there trying to knock the guy out of bounds, and I think he got knocked out of bounds as Gano or something. It was just like almost smelled like. You can almost see Gano popping up with a hamstring problem or something like that. But thankfully that didn't happen. But, I mean, it was just, running the ball back on the opening kickoff for about 60 yards. Thankfully they didn't score on that drive, right? Or Dory Jackson, right? But they got down to like the 12-yard line or so, or else they would have scored. But just absolutely, just unbelievable. Once again, just an unbelievable season. Unbelievable season.